Good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? Sorry I'm a little late. We just had a customer pick up and I ran a few minutes late. So I'm hoping that you guys are all surviving our little winter storm that we had. I'm just trying to get you up on my comments here. Let me just see. Why can't I find anybody? Are you guys that everything is okay?
Okay.
Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see me on there? Do we have some comments? My page, there we go. I think I have you. I think. This is such a pretty card. I want to make sure that it's all going to work and that everyone can see everything. So let's just give it a nanosecond. Sorry, you got to look at me. I'm getting some thumbs up, so it looks like you guys can at least see me. I'm not seeing anything. But as long as you guys are seeing, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to... Hi, Birgit. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Helen. Thank you. Sorry for that. Hi, Rose. Hey, Trish. You guys ready to make a pretty card today? Hi, Beth and Colleen. How are you guys? For some reason, I can't see myself on here, and that's probably not a bad thing. There we go. Maybe. Yeah, okay. I'm just, hi, Cindy, Dana, Susan, Sue, Connie. You guys are all here. Marilyn, how are you? Heather? Awesome. All right. I can't see myself, but I can see your comments. So I guess I don't need to see me as long as you guys can see me. I think we're good. Anyway, before we get started, you can see me. Awesome. Thanks, Georgina. I just wanted to send out a very, very heartfelt happy birthday to my girl, Kathy. Today is her special day. She's turning 49 and holding. She's just been an absolute angel. Hi, Donna and Cindy. You can see me in PEI? Awesome. That's great. I am so glad. So today is Kathy's birthday. So if you guys want to give her a shout out, I'm not sure if she's on. I haven't seen her name pop up yet, but I'm sure she's really busy with things. So yeah, I just wanted to wish her a happy birthday, formal happy birthday on her day. So, thank you, Jackie. Awesome. So we're going to create a really pretty card today. I'm going to hold it up before we turn to our workstation. Okay, so this is a little shaker card that I have created. And we're going to do a walkthrough on how you're going to create this, okay? So this was totally inspired by the basket that Liz Gaze did a week or so ago on Heartfelt Creations. Okay, sorry, I don't know where my camera is right now. So having this little handle through here, as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, wouldn't that make an awesome shaker card? So I thought, wow, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a shaker card. So I was totally inspired by Liz. So thank you, Liz, if you're here. I'm just gonna take a second and say hi to Melissa and Kathleen. How are you? Everyone's doing great. I would like to be able to see that everything that I'm doing is in view, but for some reason I'm not seeing that, but I can see comments, so we're good. Okay, so we are going to turn down to our workstation and I'm going to get ready. We're going to make sure that we're all in focus. I'm going to show you everything that we're using today, and then hopefully you can create your own shaker card. So give me a second, get the laptop, iPad turned down, and we'll be good to go. Like I said, we've got a little bit of a different setup today, so we're hoping that this is going to give you the view where you can see it as if you were actually working. Okay, so just bear with me for one moment. It's funny, I can see, sometimes I can see myself, and sometimes I can't. So just sit back, get your coffee all ready. I miss you too, Kathleen. Soon it's going to be nice out. So I'm going to have to take your word that I'm in screen. Okay, so if at some point I am out of screen, just say so. Okay? So this is the pretty card that we're going to do. Hi, Brenda. This is a shaker card. Excuse me, view is great. Now, Susan, close the video and open it again. It looks good. So Susan, you can see it as if my hands were your hands, correct? So as if you were sitting in the chair, you're looking at it the way I am. I'm hoping. Looking good. Perfect. Okay. I want to do a lot more of these classes, and I want to be able to perfect this so that we can see everything the same instead of me having to turn it to you and I'm working backwards. Okay, so this is the card we're making. It is a shaker card, so there is a dome. Okay, and it's filled up with lots of little goodies in there. Okay. Lots of prettiness. We're going to be using the Lush Lilac. And we're going to be using some sparklets. We're going to be doing all kinds of pretty things. And I want to be able to give you lots of choices, that it doesn't have to be the lilac. It could very easily be the Aster, if you have the Aster. And it doesn't have to be purple. You can do pink. You can do any color that you want. Okay, so just as a little precursor, the items that we're going to be using today, we are going to be using the 5x7 Gateway Fold card. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Who makes the dome? The dome is by Sizzix. I'll get to that in 1 second. So for our card, when you buy this card base, the Gateway Card Fold, when you open it, you have 3 arches. Okay, so we are going to be cutting one of these off today so that it is just a standard card with an outside and an inside. Okay, so that is the outside of our card, and then we're going to open it like a book, and I've cut off the 3rd arch. Okay, so this is what we're using today. I'm going to hand this to you, I think maybe from that side. We are also going to be using the Lattice Swirl Gateway, and that is going to cut us this die cut. Okay, it is such a pretty die cut. It also comes with a sentiment. In the inside it says thinking of you. So this is what we're going to use to cut this die. We are also going to be using the Scalloped Flourish Gateway. Now the only pieces that we're using from this, we are going to be using the 5x7 arch, which is going to cut us just the arch, okay, for the inside of our card. And then we're also going to be using the smaller arch. Before I cut out the circle, it looked like this, okay? So this is the 2 pieces that we're going to be using from this die set. We are also going to be using today the Ornate Flourish Gateway. And for this one, we're going to use this big, large die cut. And that is this piece here, okay? So those are your 3 die cuts that you're going to need to create this card. We are also going to need the eyelet circle basics in small, or any die that you have that will fit the opening of this die cut, okay? So it has to be a circle that will just fit on, like on the outside. You don't want to see the hole. So it has to be just about the same size as the opening on here. And I will tell you what size that I used in this die set. We are going to be using the Deluxe Flower Shaping Kit. So as you know, you get inside, you get 13 pieces. You have your piercing mat. You also get your stylus, and you get, I think it's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ends. Okay. So, and then these just hold your ends of your stylus inside. It's magnetic. You might be able to hear it click. Okay. And then you also get your molding mat inside. So when you purchase this, you get all of these pieces. And this goes all the way to the largest size of a stylus tip. You also get the paper curler in here. So this will curl your edge of your paper. You get a paper piercer, so this is going to poke a hole, okay? And then they range in a variety of sizes. So I am going to be using today the, I think it's the 4mm. Okay. Now I decided to do the lilac because it is one of my favorite flowers to work with, and I just think it is so pretty. And I love things that are purple. So we are going to use the Lush Lilac. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the back. So we're going to be cutting out a bunch of lilacs. So we're going to stamp them and then die cut them. So there's the stamp and the die. Oh, I'll give them to you, sorry. I'm all over the place. I'm used to going the other way, actually. I'm not used to this new setup. The Lush Lilac umbrella spray. Now what we're going to use is we're going to use this spray here, and we're going to use this small cluster of lilac. Okay, so this is what it looks like here. I do have it cut. It's just a matter of finding it. So here we go here. Okay, so this is the one that we're going to use. They also have a larger one in the original pack that I just showed, but I like this size for fitting underneath the dome. Okay. And then we are going to use the shaping mold. Now, I don't know if a lot of you know about the shaping mold, but we're going to talk about the shaping mold when we get there. Really nice and deep. This does all the work for you. You don't have to shape anything. You just stamp, die cut, color, put it in here, run it through your machine, and it's already shaped for you. Okay. Now, we're going to be using the Sizzix domes, and this is the 2.5 by 2.5. Okay, so this is the dome that we're going to be using, and it's by Sizzix. We are going to be using sparklets. And this particular color is called Jellyfish, and it has stars and different colors of purple, and there's little blings. It's so pretty, and it ties in really nice with our lilacs. So I opened my package, and I actually am now going to be storing them in these little, I can never remember the name, condiment cups with the little lid. So now they're in here nice and secure. I know where they are. They're not going to spill, and I don't have to worry about ripping this little bag. Now we're going to use purple prills. So hopefully you can see these. I'll pour a few in my hand. So these are just little balls, and they're purple. It's called I Cannot Tell a Lilac. Okay, so these we're also going to put inside of our shaker. Now you can also, which I do often, you can also add some glitter inside of the shaker dome. You can add some of Rajni's Crystal Clear. I brought this over just to show you that inside of here I've used prills as well as the glitter. I love shaker cards, and I would make these all day, every day if I could. So it just adds a little bit of glitter inside. So whatever you have handy, if you have sequins, if you have micro beads, it doesn't matter. You can just put a whole bunch of different stuff inside. Okay, so obviously I'm going to use my Dries Clear because, you know, this is the bomb and I absolutely love it. We are going to use a Spectrum Noir glitter pen. If you have a Wink of Stella, that works well, perfect as well. My colors today, I am using the bamboo in bamboo leaves from Memento and grape jelly. So these are my two colors that I'm going to color with today. Okay. Now I have gone ahead and made a nice big batch of lilacs. Okay. So I'm going to be using these ones today, but I wanted to show you different ways that you could do the lilacs. So some of these have pearls in them. So these are the little balls. Okay, if you can see those. It's a little hard to see in my hand. Okay. Now you can also do stamens. So these ones have a pink stamen in them. And then there's some that have white stamens. There's some that have gold, some that have purple. So you can do whatever you like inside of the lilac. Okay, so it just offers you a variety of things that you can do with them. And I love looking into this little container. It's all full of goodness. And then some of them I have used Rajni's Crystal Clear on. Usually I just use like the Wink Stella glitter pen, but these ones actually have the Crystal Clear on them. So it's whatever you want to do. And these are so easy to create. And then this is a sample in the pink of the little cluster that we're going to put on the front. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you. So this is going to be the little cluster that I'm putting on here. I did one in pink because I wasn't sure which color I wanted to use, but I decided to go with the purple. Okay. So we're going to keep these handy because I'm going to need those. Also, I'm going to be using some purple twine. Now, when we do our mold, we're going to have a little bit of water. I'm not going to physically go through and show you exactly how to do the mold. A lot of you know, but I'll kind of run through the basics of it. And then I think we're pretty much good to go. So first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to try not to spill my beautiful egg collection of lilacs. I'm going to bring in my We Are Memory trimmer, guillotine. And all I'm going to do is I want to cut off this third arch. Okay? So it's easiest if you turn it so that the flat edge is against the top so that you're guaranteed. I see I'm missing a couple of gateway dies. Yes, I think you're going to need some more. So we're just going to line this up so that it just catches on the edge. When you're doing this, make sure that you're lined up nice and tight across the top, which is why you don't want to cut the arch side. You want to have the flat side against the top of your guillotine or your trimmer. Okay? Make sure that it's as close as you can get and chop it off. Okay? So now we have a regular card. Okay? And I always like to go back over and give it a nice score. I forgot my bone folder. Okay, so this one here, you can save this and we can use this in another crafting project of some kind. We can use it on a scrapbook layout. We could actually score half of it, a ½ inch on one side, and use it as an insert in an album. So do not throw away your extra pieces, okay? So these have all been scored for you, but they've not been creased. So you always want to make sure that you give it a really nice press so that it's nice and crisp. Okay, so now we have a nice crisp and it's going to stand up really nice. It's just going to look beautiful. Hi, Tamara. Yes, so with the Heartfelt sale that we've had this week, I'm sad to say that there's a lot of things I don't have, but don't worry, I'm going to fix you guys. We're going to work it out. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is you will cut one of the Ornate Flourish dies, okay? And I did mine in the Nina cardstock in white. It's a little brighter than the actual card base, but I'm okay with that. I'm not going to stress about it, okay? So the very first one that you're going to cut is the ornate flourish, because we want this nice big piece here. And all you're going to do with your dries clear, I'm not going to use score tape because I don't feel I need it. Okay, so remember, keep your glue on the side. You're going to go all the way around, do a few up in the middle. Okay, and then you're just going to center this over your card. You want to make sure that you have it as straight as possible. Always use a dry baby wipe, and it just allows you to push the glue out, and then if any of it gets caught underneath, you'll be able to fix it and wipe it away. Okay, so that is our very first step. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to cut using the lattice swirl. So this is this one. You're going to have cut your die cut already, so you're going to want to keep this handy. Okay, and then you're going to want to use the scalloped flourish gateway, and you want to cut pattern paper in the 4x6 arch, which is the smaller arch. Okay, so I have done that. So you're going to lay this. Hi, Carolyn. You're going to lay this just inside. If you can kind of see where there's a line before you get out to your trim, you're just going to kind of center this in here and get an idea of where it is straight. I'll put my circle back in to help you guys with the visual. Okay, so pretend that is all there and the butterfly is perfectly straight like that. So that's what your piece is going to look like. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to lay this on top, kind of figure out where you want it. It is not the exact length, top and bottom. Hi, Regina. How are you? I'm so glad you were able to join us. Now, from your eyelet circle, I have used the third largest circle. So it is the 3x3. So if you have a circle die at home that is 3x3 or close to it, that's the one I used. And all I did was I found out where I wanted everything to be, and then I put a couple pieces of tape on either side. I slid this just underneath the opening so that I would kind of be able to fuss and figure out exactly where I want it. And then I can push it down and the tape is going to hold it. Remove this, and now I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine, and it's only going to cut this. Oh, welcome. I'm so glad. It's nice that you've got an afternoon off and you can come and join us. So once you've run this through your die cutting machine, now you're going to have a circle, and we want that circle. And now we have a hole in our arch. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to fuss and fiddle again. Be sure that we have it all lined up where we want our circle. And it does take a second, but it's worth it. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to hold my circle down, and there's no math or magical system to this other than holding it in place. And I'm just going to do a nice little bead, and I'm going to press this down. And then I'm going to come on this side and I'm going to do the same thing so that I can adhere my circle. Okay? My circle is now down. So I have a little tip for adding the pieces to the center of our dome. So I like to use, oh, thank you, Connie. I like to use just a bounce sheet. You can use your score buddy. You can use like your little chalk buddy. Anything like that. Excuse me. And I like to just rub a little bit of the bounce sheet just over the circle. Okay? And this is going to remove any static. And then I also like to wipe my fingers just a little bit, okay? So then what we're gonna do, we're just gonna move this out of our way for 1 second, and we're gonna go in and we're gonna ink the edges of our arch, the small arch. Now, if you're a person that you don't like to ink the edges, you don't have to do this step. I like to do it because I like that it just gives the edges, and I don't like seeing the white core between the paper. So it just adds a little bit of purple on the outside, especially over here where you can really see it, where there's not a lot of print. Okay. And I just use my little finger dauber, and yes, it's beat up and it needs a haircut, but this is what I do. This is just my crafting. Okay. Hi, Ellie. I'll watch after. I'm going to be driving in a minute. No worries. You can go back and watch it as soon as the live is done. Drive safe. So now what we're going to do is we are going to make sure that everything is going to fit in here nice, and we look like we have everything lined up and it looks great. So now we're going to take our centers, what we're going to use, whether it's the beads, whether it is dry clear, if you want to do some micro beads, anything that you have that you want to put in the middle. You're going to get a little bit of static, and so I like rubbing the little bounce sheet over so that I don't have as much static. And there's beads in here. There's a little bit of stars. I'm also going to take my pearls, and I'm going to put a little scoop of my pearls in here. Oops. You just want to kind of keep it in the center. They are going to want to fall all over. Okay, so you're just going to add a little pile. Don't worry that the pile is all in the center. We want it in the center right now so that it doesn't fly all over the place. And then I'm going to add for this card, I'm going to put a little tiny bit of Rajni's Crystal Clear inside. And don't forget, ladies, as I have with all of my demo cards, you leave me a comment and you're going to be entered in to win this card. Okay, and I'll announce the winner on Tuesday, just because this is a Saturday, and I want people to be able to watch the video and leave a comment. Okay, so now I have everything in the center that I want. I am going to locate my dome, and these domes are amazing that they have this little white piece that is already sticky on here. So this is a great way that you don't have to worry about trying to put score tape. All you're going to do is peel this off. Thanks, Tina. But of course, I always want to be sure of what I'm doing. So I'm going to want to add a little bit of dry clear glue just to the adhesive, just to guarantee adhesion. Okay. Hopefully my head's not going to be in the way here. So now I'm just going to lay this right over my circle, and I'm going to push down and make sure that everything is secure. Okay, and give it a second just to be sure that everything is going to stay. Make sure you've got nothing in the way, any little bits. Okay, so right now that's what it should look like. And we're not going to move anything inside yet until I know 100% that everything is stuck down, because I don't want anything to fall all over the place. Hi, Tracy. Thank you. Hi, Cindy. I love lilacs too. The scent is just enough to kill me, but I do love them. So now we're going to come back to our little piece that we cut out that has like the little handle, okay? And this is going to go over here, and this is going to cover the raw edge of our dome. Okay, so we want to make sure that when we put it down that it is in the same place so that everything marries up, or as close as you can get it. Okay, you just don't want to be too crooked. So then what I like to do is I'm going to use my dry clear, and I'm just going to do a nice bead all the way around. Make sure you go back to that circle and add more around the circle. Okay, because you want it to be really stuck down. So with the Dries Clear, you've got wiggle room. So don't feel that as soon as you drop it down, if it's not in the right place, get it off as fast as you can, okay? So just kind of line it up. I'm trying to line up my butterfly here, but I also need to focus down here and be sure that I'm straight. Once I know I am, I'm going to gently push down. I'm going to bring back my dry baby wipe, and now I'm going to push hard to be sure that my glue is sticking. And if any of the glue seeps out underneath this pattern paper, it's going to get caught onto the baby wipe and won't smudge. Really focus around the dome because we want this to be sealed. Okay. I've got a little piece here that's driving me nuts because I think I bent it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Dries Clear. And I'm just going to stick that little puppy down because he's driving me nuts. This one too. This is the thing with these little filigrees, is it's very easy to tear them. Hi, Jane. Okay. And these ones up here, I might just put a little bit on here. Just, you know, they're probably not going to move once I get the next layer on, but I don't want them to be a pain when I gift this to somebody. Okay. So for the ladies just joining us, we are creating this card right now. So this is a lilac shaker card featuring the new Gateway dies. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. So now what we're going to do is put our pin back in our glue because you guys know that drives me bonkers. So I decided that I wanted to pop dot this. Okay. So what I decided to do was I'm just going to use some small pop dots, but I'm going to cut them in half because I don't want all of the pop dots to show. Okay, so I'm just going to find some areas that have a bigger, I'm going to move this out of the way so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So wherever there's a bigger little area that you can place a little pop dot, that's where you're going to put them. You don't want to put them in here because then people will see them and then things will stick. So it's going to seem like I'm actually using a lot of pop dots, but I'm not because I'm only using half of them. So it is a little fussy, but so worth it at the end. So just bear with me while I stick these down. They're sticking to my finger. Okay. Did everyone get a lot of snow this morning? We got a lot of snow overnight. And it was snowing like I was in a snow globe this morning when I got up at 6:30. It was so beautiful. I was just sitting totally mesmerized by all of it. Now, you don't want to put any pop dots near the inside of the opening, okay? Because it's going to get stuck onto the globe, or sorry, onto the dome. I got snow globe on the brain, and we don't want that. So we're just going to do a couple, maybe one or two more. Now, remember, the secret to getting these off so that you don't lose your mind in the process is that you want to rub that bounce sheet back on your fingers because it's going to remove any static. And then you're going to push down nice and hard. Not a flake in Wasaga. Hi, Deb. Push down nice and hard on these pop dots. It helps to release the back. Okay, and then you're just going to pull all these off. You're going to have a little mess that your husband's going to have to clean up. But that's okay. Mine is supervising right now, making sure that I'm doing everything the way that I should be. No snow here, just windy and cold. It's really windy here as well. All right, so I'm just about got all these off. And you know, you can just make sure that you get all of them off. Just kind of go back and touch them and you'll know if they're all off or not. So how is this view working for everybody? Is this better? Please tell me. Now, I always like to add a little bit of Dries Clear Dries Clear glue onto the back of my pop dot so that if I have to move it, I can. As well, it makes sure that it is going to be as sticky as I want it to be. Never thought about the bounce sheet on your fingers. Yeah, it actually works really well. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna flip this over. We're just gonna line this up as best we can so that a lot of these pop dots just sit over the edge. And again, see, having that Dries Clear on there gives me that opportunity to lift off and to move things out of the way. And then we're gonna press nice and hard all the way down. Make sure that we have nice adhesion everywhere. Okay. And now we have a shaker card. And inside of there, we've got beads, we've got pearls, we've got some Rajnee's Crystal Clear glitter. We have all kinds of goodness in there. Okay. So now what I want you to do, you love the view. Perfect, Denise, thank you. And thank you for being honest, ladies. I appreciate it. This is how we're gonna perfect what I'm doing, by having some good feedback. So now what I want you to do is I want you to find your pretty paper again, and I want you to locate your scalloped flourish gateway. And with your pattern paper, I want you to cut 2 pieces. If you want to have one that has a scene on it, then that is perfect. If you don't, that is fine too. So I opted to do my cottage on the inside, and then I did just a plain on the other side. Now I'm gonna stamp a sentiment here, and then if I wanted to do a verse or I wanted to write something personal. Aw, thanks Heather, no worries. Hi Julie in England, how are you? We're talking about all the snow that we've got here. Of course, you guys don't have much there. So I decided to leave this, that I can do a little verse if I wanted. You can do however you want, or you could just do plain cardstock, or you could just leave it white. It's totally up to you, okay? So once you have 2 of these cut, we are now just going to take a second and ink the edges, because if you know me, everything has to have the edges inked. I like to add just a little bit of something special. I don't, like I said, I don't like to see that white edge of the paper, and it just makes this stand up off the card a lot better. And I'm gonna give you a little visual of that. So if you can see this. Aw, thank you, Tracy, I try. I like to teach to different levels. I like everyone to be able to learn, and if I've got any useless information that I can pass on, that is what I want to do. That's why brick and mortars are so important. So if I just put this piece of pattern paper down here, it is stunning, absolutely stunning. But to me, it doesn't pop off the page. So if you can take a second and look at that, don't blink, take that in. And then watch what's gonna happen when I ink the edges of this now. And whenever you're gonna ink in a dark color, start in a darker area. Don't instantly go up here, because you're gonna see a great big dark spot. So kind of start down at the bottom and get yourself going all the way around. Okay, just nice and gentle. You don't want it to be too thick. You want it just to be a nice little edge all the way around. Okay, and if you notice the way I hold it, I'm holding it like this, and I kind of have it curved a bit, because I don't want so much going on the front. I want more on the side, and you can actually see on my dauber where I kind of just go off on the edge, because it's mostly covering that the white edge on the paper that I don't like. Okay, so I've got some, but I don't have a lot. Now look how it sits on this page. So before it looked great, but now it looks even better. Okay, so that's why I like to ink the edges. Not everyone does, and you know what? I love you anyway. I don't care. I am good with that. So now we're just going to adhere. Actually, that's really pretty too. Oh my, now decisions. I shouldn't have looked at the B side. So again, do you like that? Do you like that better than this one? Because at least that way it kind of has a saying already on it, and then you could do a little bit of handwriting. Okay, so we just had a little change of plan. Gary really likes this side. Beautiful, I love the ink on the edge. Yes, me too. So I'm just gonna take 1 second. See, this is the whole creative process. Is you see something, you think you want it one way, and then it turns out to be something else. So yes, everyone likes this side better. So again, it doesn't matter with the arch which side that you use, because it's the same arch all the way around. Okay, so now all I'm going to do, you do too, okay. So again, hold your glue so that it's on the side like this, so we're not blocking that tip and you've got lots of glue coming out. Okay, remember, never hold your glue like this because you're clogging, you're stopping the glue from coming out. You want it to be on an angle. And then this piece, we're just gonna find the center as best we can. And now we're just going to adhere this down, okay? And a quick tip, because I put the dome on first, I'm gonna rub from the back side so that I know that that is stuck down, okay? And then we're gonna take our other side and we're just gonna glue this. Now, if you were gonna stamp a sentiment, I would probably suggest that you stamp your sentiment first. But it's totally up to you. I don't know what I'm gonna say on this one, if anything, so I'm just gonna lay this down. Now, when you lay this down, because you've got 2 pattern papers, you wanna make sure that there's the same amount of distance on the bottom. It is just a silly visual thing, but if this was way up here or way down here, we would notice that and people would notice it. They won't say anything to you, but they're gonna notice it, okay? So now we're just going to wipe all this down, and now we have a beautiful card base on the inside. Do you guys like that? I really actually like how the B side turned out over here. So still plenty of room to do a sentiment here. You can do some writing on here if you wanted. Totally up to you. So the next thing I'm gonna do, so I go to the dollar store and I buy sponges, okay? And they're obviously not treated with anything. They're just at the dollar store. I think you get 2 in a pack, and I bring them home and Gary cuts them up into 1-inch cubes. And if you've done a class with me, I've handed these to you and said, this is what we're gonna do with them. So when you get them, they're a little stiff. You don't wanna wet them. Okay, so you're just gonna kind of make it a little bit more pliable. So just kind of bend it a little bit. Some are stiffer than others, it doesn't matter. And then this is just a Wendy's takeout container that I save. And I keep these in here so I know where they are. They're not gonna fall out, and they're clean. And anytime I wanna go grab one, I just grab one and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do with it. So what I'm gonna do is on my craft mat, I'm gonna pour myself a little bit of glue, and I'm gonna bring in Rajni's Crystal Clear. I'm gonna open out my book, my card, okay? So I'm gonna put a fair amount of glue down. So I'm gonna say the size of probably a quarter, okay? And now I'm just gonna pounce my sponge inside. You wanna make sure that you kind of spread it on the end of the sponge. You don't wanna just dip it and then pull it up. Now you're just gonna pounce wherever you would like some glitter, okay? Just a little bit here and there. It doesn't have to be a lot. You know that saying, less is more? You can always add, but you can't take off, okay? And then I'm gonna use a spoon. I'm gonna bring in Rajni's Crystal Clear, and I'm just gonna pour this on top of the card. And I'm gonna knock it all off, okay? And now it is all glittered. But it's not all glittered in places I don't want it. I don't want it on the top of the roof. I don't want it in the trees. I only wanted it around the little cottage. Okay? And I have to say, Heartfelt did not ask my permission to use my dream cottage as their graphic, but I'm gonna let them do it because I love it. I so want to live in a house like this. It's just beautiful. So this is going to totally dry while we're working on our lilacs. I'm just going to set it aside. Now inside of here, you can see on this one, once it's dry, this is not going to rub off. Like you don't see any on this side. Once it's dry, it's dry. And it just adds a little bit more of a little something something. When the person opens the card, they see all this beautiful sparkle. Okay. So while that's drying, we're just going to move this out of the way. I think I may need that. And I'm going to grab myself a wet one so I can clean up the glue from my mat, because I don't want to get glue anywhere else. Okay. So we have to love our baby wipes because they just clean everything up so quick and easy. I'm going to put a couple lids on here so I don't knock things over when I'm doing my craziness. Excuse me. Okay, we're going to move this out of the way. So what we're going to do first, can I have back the stamps for the lilacs, please? So what I have done is I have gone ahead and I have stamped this large spray. Oh, that's stuck in there. So this here is the large spray, and this is from the Lush Lilac and Umbrella Spray. Sorry, I got it upside down. I'm forgetting that I'm not backwards today. Okay, so we're stamping this one, and we're stamping this one. Now I have gone ahead and I've already stamped it using the grape jelly, just to save time. Okay, I don't care that the green, where I'm going to color the green, has purple on the outside. That doesn't matter to me. Any kind of baby wipe, doesn't matter. I like to use things that are unscented because I have allergies. I personally like the ones from Costco. They are the Kirkland brand baby wipes, ultra soft, and it's unscented. So I'm not going to worry about sneezing and them driving me nuts the whole time that I'm using them. Okay, and then the second one that we're going to, from the same stamp pad, we're going to use this one here. And this one I'm calling, I had a name for it that I came up with so that I would know what to do. I'm calling it a lilac branch. Okay, so this is a spray, and this to me is the branch. So I've also gone ahead, now I had some stamped ahead of time in black, and I'm just going to use that. But if you did it in the purple, that would be fine too. Okay, totally up to you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to start with my green first, and I'm going to color the leaves. And again, all I'm using are the daubers because I'm not a colorist. I'm not that person. Excuse me, I got to move that baby wipe out of the way. It's fragrant. Okay, so I'm going to just color the leaves, and I don't really care if I go in too far because we're not going to see a lot of this at the end. So if I get into where the purple's going to be, I'm not fretting about that. That doesn't matter to me, okay? And if you notice, I went dark on one side, I went a little light, then you can go back and add a little bit more dark just to add depth, and it was just one swipe. So here again, it's just all in the pressure. You have to figure out where the shadow is going to be. So obviously the shadow is going to be, it's going to be darker closer to the flowers because they're casting off a shadow. Up here, it's going to be lighter. So when you go in with just your dauber, you go in kind of heavy at the end and then have a lighter touch at the back. And that's just one swipe. I don't do a lot of this fussy coloring, and I personally don't have time to do it. So for me, it's I just need to get it colored as quick as I can. And it looks like it's got two different shades on it. So then for these little curly cues, I'm just going to go in and make sure that they're nice and green. Okay. And these little leaves here, these are so quick and easy to do. And then we can't forget about our little one here. And because we're not going to see the underside, I'm not worried about this being white. You're not going to see it. Then I'm going to come in with my grape jelly memento. And I'm just going to go in and just lightly color in a circular motion. This is going to be covered, so I'm not too worried about it not being 100% covered or colored properly. Okay, we want to do our little pieces off to the ends. And again, you can go as dark or as light as you like. And then on our branch, I'm going to do the same. I start in a circular motion, nice and heavy on the outside, because that's going to show the most, because I'm going to be placing my little lilacs inside. But I do want to color this because I don't want to see the white. Okay, and then sometimes I'll just hold it in my hand and go nice and dark on the outside. Just flick it off. Like so. Okay. Now for the magic of the camera, I have gone ahead and I have stamped some lilacs. And then all you're going to do is you're going to take the die and you're just going to lay the die on top, just like this. Now, I know a lot of ladies color first and then die cut. It doesn't matter which way you do it. If you're going to do a solid color like I did, it's just as easy to do it now. Okay, so you're just going to go in and you're just going to color all of these. Okay, so you're just going to color them, or you can do it after. It totally is up to you. Then you're going to take your die, you're going to lay your die. This thing fits on here absolutely perfect to the flower. Okay, and then with a couple of pieces of repositional tape or washi tape, whatever you have, you're going to run that through your die cutting machine. Okay, and then when they come out, they're going to look like this. So I've already cut some just to save time. Okay. So these are what they look like when they're all cut. And then this is what they look like when they're colored. So you can do it before or after, totally whatever is your thing. Some people like to color them ahead of time. Some people like to do it after. It doesn't matter. Okay. So then with the lilacs, I like to do the back as well because sometimes they're going to show a little bit. So while I'm coloring them, I'm going to do the back as well. So again, that's just something simple like taking this, doing a nice little circle. You can even hold it in your hand, however you want to do. Know that with the Heartfelt flowers, you're going to get inky. So if you just had a manicure, put a set of gloves on. Okay, so that's all I do. Literally, that's it. Okay, and then we are going to use the mold. So in the mold, the molds are nice and deep. So you are going to take your probably colored lilacs, but we're going to pretend these are colored. And you're just going to fill them inside here. Okay. Now the good thing about these molds is that you can actually do 3 layers. 2 layers, 3 layers. So there's 14 in here, I believe. And you should be able to do 3 times that amount. Or is there 20? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 20. 20. So if you do 3 layers, that's 60 lilacs at one time. So that's how you end up with all of these. Because I'm not going to just do 5 or 6 or 10. I'm going to do the whole tray and I'm going to do a whole bunch of them. And then I'm going to sit and I'm going to color them and have a whole bunch of lilacs that are ready for me when I want. So then what you do is you just put a little spritz of water, and I mean a little bit, not a lot, okay? And you only, if you're going to layer them, you only want it on the top layer, not in between. Because if you do it in between, it's going to turn into Mod Podge, and you're never going to get them separated. Then you're going to put the lid back on. Oops. Okay. And now we're going to put it through our Big Shot Vagabond. So you're going to have a clear plate, you're going to have the mold, and you're going to put another clear plate. And you're going to run it through your Vagabond, Big Shot, whatever you have. And then when they come out, I'm going to hand that to you. When they come out, they're already shaped for you. I'm not sure if you can actually see all of the detail on these, but they're already shaped. So then what we're going to do is we are just going to use our molding mat and our stylus. I'm using the 4mm. We're going to turn them upright, and we're just going to push down in their little belly. Okay, just like that. And then if you want it to be a little thicker and you don't have a second mat, just fold your one mat in half and push down. And now you have a nice little lilac, and it's all shaped for you. Okay. Nice and easy. This is such an easy flower to create. And then what I like to do is I like to put them inside of my tray, whether it's a small tray or a large tray. And you're just going to put a little dollop of glue in the middle. Oop. Little dollop of glue inside. Come on now. Okay. So you don't want a ton of it, but you want enough. And then you're going to take your prills, if you're using prills, and you're just going to put them down on top. And don't worry if it starts to flatten them. We can curve them when they're all dry. And then you're going to set these aside to dry. And what I like to do then is I like to come in with my tweezers, and I like to just pick them up, and I dump off the excess, and now the prills are all caught on the inside. And then I can reshape if I have to. Okay. Now I'm not going to do this for all the ones that we're going to use. I have them done already, so just to kind of save time for everyone. Now you can also shape these on your own. So what I would suggest is on the back side, you're just going to give a little bit of a spritz using your small 4mm. You're just going to push until the little petals curve, and they create like a little bowl. You turn them over and you press down in the middle, and it's the same thing as the mold. The mold just does the work for you. So if you're like me and have a bad wrist, the mold's going to do all the work for you. Okay, so I'm going to use the ones that I already have made, which are going to be these ones, and I already have my prills inside. I've actually gone ahead and even put my Wink of Stella. Sometimes my mold doesn't fit tight. It should always fit tight. Can I have that mold? So as you know, if you look on the back side of this, one corner is missing from the base. You always want to make sure that when you put these together, this is why I always put my initial on the top here and on the bottom here, so that when I put these together, I know that they're going to fit together. And then often what I will do is I'll push it down, and then I'll put it through my Vagabond. So that way I know for sure, and often you'll hear a click. Don't worry, that's a good thing. That means that it's being pushed down and it's not hurting anything. So I'm not sure, Connie, why you're having a problem. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to use some Dries Clear. I was going to use my glue gun, but it's with these little things, I know I'm going to get hurt. Oh, actually, before I do that, I missed a step, sorry. I am going to just do a little bit of shaping. Hopefully you guys can see this. I didn't move. Am I in the right view? Sorry, I got carried away here. So I'm just going to do a poking motion just around the back side of my big spray. Okay, and all I'm doing is I'm making the fibers in the paper break, and you see how they're curling up? So now it doesn't look like a flat sticker. Now it actually looks like it's alive. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on my branch. And I'm just going, and always remember, ladies, to hold your stylus upright. It is not a pen. So when you do these, if you're holding it like this, you're putting a lot of stress on the neck of this little stylus here. and you're gonna bend it, and I have, and they've had to replace it for me. So you want, and it's hard on your wrist, so you wanna hold it upright and poke. It takes all the pressure off of your wrist and puts it onto the paper. And you notice my other hand is not holding this down. My other hand is away. I don't want to flatten everything that I just did. Then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to push down just a little bit so that I've got a nice little glue spot. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, always try to remove your mat and not work on your mat, or it ends up looking as bad and horrible as mine is with glue. So we're going to go back to our little bloom here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start right at the base of the lilac where the little stem comes out. And I'm going to start building my cluster. Okay. So I'm just going to put a nice little dollop on the bottom. And you want to stagger them. You don't want them to be in the exact position every time. Okay. So a little bit of glue on the back. And just kind of, you want the petals to be somewhat together, but not crowding each other. And it doesn't have to be fully covered, because the background is so pretty already that you don't have to have a million petals. So then all you have to do is just kind of wiggle it when you put these down, and it causes a suction, and they're instantly stuck. Okay. And then just take your time. Find out where you need extra ones so that there's not a gaping hole. You don't want a hole. And turn the petals odd. Don't have them going all the same. And if one gets down there a little bit too far and you're not happy with it, the dries clear is not dry yet, so you've got room and time to go in and change them. And when I make my lilacs, if I do them at night sitting in the house, I often will bring in my glitter pen and color them all at the same time, so that when I want to use them, they're all together. Okay. So this is going to be pretty much our little lilac branch. Okay. Can you see that? Look good? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what we're creating is this little lilac branch right here. Okay. And while that is drying, I'm going to put some foam tape. Do you guess how many you need, or does it tell you? No, you do what you like. So I just used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on this one. And I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on that one. So it depends. It's whatever you want. If you want it to be really full and look more like a hydrangea, then you can add more. You could also put different colors in. They don't all have to be the same. It's kind of whatever you want to do. So while those are drying, I'm just going to put a little piece of foam tape on the back of my spray. I'm going to double it because I want it to stick up quite high. And then just peel off the back. Okay, bring in my card. What did I do with my card? Where's my card? Right here. Oh. Okay. So beautiful. I'm inspired. Oh, thank you. So I'm going to add some Dries Clear onto the back of my double-sided score tape, because that's me. That's who I am, and I've embraced it. And I'm just going to kind of find the center below the dome. And I'm just going to adhere this big spray just on here. And I'm going to take a second, and while that's settling, I'm going to go in with my Wink of Stella or my glitter pen, and I'm just going to glitter this up a little bit ahead of time. And you can do this even before you put it down. It's half of this and 6 of that. There's no right or wrong, okay? Don't feel that you're doing something wrong because it's not the way that I did it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. All right, so I decided to use some purple twine because I wanted to do something pretty with twine because I'm a twine girl. I found this amazing little holder at Staples, and I think it's to put paper on because it has a pokey thing at the top and you're just slide paper down, but it holds these rolls of twine awesome. And then you can just pull off what you want. And I'm just going to do what I call a messy bow. There's no rhyme, reason, nothing. I just know I want a tail. And then all I do is I spread my fingers. So I don't know if you can see this, but I have a tail here. And I've spread my fingers. And I'm just wrapping this around a few times. And then I'm just going to come up the center. Okay. Just going to come up the center. And then you can take that one long tail if you want and just wrap it around. I'm going to put a nice big line of glue here. And again, if you had your glue gun, this is going to make this stick even better. Now, I don't want all of these bows or loops to be perfect. I want them to be a little haphazard. So I'm just going to separate them a little bit. I'm going to try to get my big hands out of the way and just kind of pull these loops a little bit so that it's a little messy. Okay. And then if you don't want a tail, you don't have to have a tail. And if you lost one of your tails, don't worry about it because you can just cut one. Okay, so now we have two. Okay. So it's just a messy bow, just nothing. I like adding these because I just find that they add so much more to it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is now I want to put this on top of here. So I am going to put a fair amount of Dries Clear just up the solid part of this little branch. Awesome how you did the bow. Awesome. I'm glad you liked it. All right. And now I'm going to put this down. And again, you can do it on an angle, you can do it straight, and if you notice me doing a little shimmy with this, it actually causes a suction and helps this to stay. Now on this card, I cut off the stem, and this one I left it, and I'm still thinking that I need to cut it off. It kind of looks like it's just kind of sitting there for no reason, so I'm going to chop it off, give it a little bit of a haircut. Okay, and then when I was cutting my paper, I was sure to save this little bird. So I'm just going to go in with my small Tim Holtz scissors. I'm going to leave a little bit of the purple on the bottom, and then I'm going to fussy cut, not a new word. I'm going to fussy cut this around the little bird. Okay. Make sure I don't cut off his little beak. This bird is so beautiful. It's a little blue bird. We actually have these nesting in our yard every summer. Okay, so a little bit of detail. You always want to make sure that you ink the edges because it's going to help him to stand off and as well color that white core that I'm always complaining about. Okay. And then you want to go back in with this little guy, and you're going to turn him upside down, and again you're just going to poke around the edges just to curl it up so that he looks like he's alive and he isn't a real sticker. And then because we need a glue point, I'm just going to run my stylus along the bottom and flatten it. And I'm going to put a pop dot behind him, a little bit of Dries Clear. But I'm also going to put some glue on the front. I can guarantee you this is not going to go in the same spot that the other one did. I'm just going to lift this out of the way a little bit because I just want him to sit just a little bit below. And I'm not worried about the glue that's on here because it's going to be dry and I won't see it. Okay, and then with my glitter pen, got to add a little bit of glitter to the little guy because he's beautiful. Okay, nice and glittery. So do you like how the cards come in? I tried to keep it pretty close to the one that I made. Sometimes I change them up, sometimes I don't. Now I do have this little saying that was on the piece of paper. So I'm going to ink the edges of this again. And you just want it to be nice and dark, but not sloppy. Like you want it to be nice. I know when you say ink the edges and be nice, kind of sounds contradictory, but it's not. And then all I do is I just take it in my fingers and I just bend the paper, okay? Because I want it to move. I don't want it to be flat. And then I'm gonna pinch the end and fold it back a bit against my nail on both ends. And this is gonna give me a glue point. Now, I toyed yesterday whether I wanted to have it down at the bottom. Did I want to have it at the top? I ended up going with the top. So I'm going to do it again on this one. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the pieces that I folded back. And we're just going to find a little spot where it's going to sit. And it keeps the bow because I'm only gluing down the pieces I curled back. Okay, so if you can see that, you can see there's a hole underneath there. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to take a couple more of my lilacs that I have already made. I'm going to flatten them just a little bit. Now these ones also didn't get colored on the back. So I'm just going to quickly, because you probably will see it, I'm going to go back and I'm just going to add a little bit of purple just to the back side of these. Do you realize now I have to? Oh, I can't wait till I can start having release parties again and start teaching more and having you people here where I can grab your hands and show you. That's what I do best. I used to teach at Todd Uniforms where no one spoke English. And it was I had to teach them how to sew, and I would totally, there's big language barriers, so I would be with my hands, grabbing their hands and showing them how to do it. And I do catch myself in classes, and you guys know that. I don't do it on purpose, it's just, that's how I taught for years. So we're just going to put some more glue on the back of here, and I'm just gonna tuck these, just kind of wiggle, do a little wiggle on the petals, and it causes a suction. Okay, and we're gonna do a second one. Okay, and we're just gonna do this like here. And just having that little bit of a suction, like it's not falling off, and the glue is not dry. Just wiggle your petal when you set it down. Okay, and then lastly, what I'm gonna do before I finish up, aw, thank you, Connie. I hope not. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to continue doing all of this, teaching you guys and just demoing stuff. I may not even be teaching you anything. It's the fact that it's just a different way to do stuff. That's all. So I'm going to go into my little stash of sparklets, and I'm going to find a few bling. And I am just going to set, I'm gonna do 3 because 3 is my thing. I'm not sure if you guys can see these because they're ultra clear. They're like glass. So using my tweezers, I'm just gonna put a little dollop of glue down, and I'm just gonna sink these into it. I guess maybe if I would have picked another color. Okay, and I'm gonna do one here. And it just looks like a little bit of dew maybe coming off. Aw, thank you. You guys are so amazing. Amazing, lovely comments. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've had a little bit of flack this week and from some unruly people, and I haven't had my feelings hurt in a while. So it happened, and now this is kind of nice to bounce back from. So there is our finished card. Okay, now you could go back in, you could go with your Wink of Stella, you could go in and you could add some glitter here and there. You could also totally glitter this whole die cut if you wanted. Now I'm gonna throw this out there that you could also, if you die cut this on the Elizabeth Crafts sticky mat, you could, once you peel off the top piece, you could actually then add gilding flakes or glitter, whatever you want. Yes. So, Gary, hand me that long Elizabeth Crafts sticker piece down there. See the long beside the red thing?
Here?
Yep. Nope, the one beside it.
Right here.
Yeah. Sorry. So you can take this. This is our clear double-sided adhesive, okay? And you're gonna put your die on top of here, and you're gonna run this through your Big Shot Vagabond, whatever you own, and you're gonna die cut it. Then you're gonna peel off the piece that has Elizabeth on it. You're gonna peel that off, and then you can put glitter on it. You can put Rajni's Crystal Clear on it. You can do gilding flakes on it, and then take off the back and stick it down. And now it's not white, it's foiled. It's whatever you want it to be. Totally different ideas to do kind of the same thing, and it's just something fun. The other thing I wanted to mention with the gilding flakes is that the one thing that I was hoping to be able to show today, but I don't have the time, was to be able to show you that with the new Cosmic Glitter, you can actually stamp an image and then put the gilding flakes on it. So you would take any stamp that you have. So I'm just going to say this one, which is the large umbrella, and you're going to stamp it using the Cosmic Shimmer glue. You're going to stamp this down. When you take it off, you're going to use your gilding flakes, and you're going to put all your gilding flakes all over the stamped image, and you're going to brush off the rest of it. Okay, so you can actually stamp using the gilding flake Cosmic Shimmer glue. So that was just one little extra tidbit that I wanted to add in there. Do you cut that down to size? Yes. So I would actually lay the die on top of the Elizabeth Craft piece, and then I would just cut around it because I don't want to waste it. Okay, so just enough that the die is going to fit in it, the same as you would if you had a piece of paper. You're just going to set the die down on it, and you're going to cut around the die. Okay, so ladies, please leave a comment. Be sure that you leave a comment. I'm going to do a draw for this card, and hopefully be able to gift it. Sorry, I'm talking loud, the furnace was on. I'm going to gift it to some lucky lady on Tuesday. Excuse me. Yeah, there we go. Gary's just flipping it up so you can see me. Are we good? Good job. I just feel like I'm looking up. Anyway, so I'm going to gift somebody this beautiful card next week. I'm glad that you guys were able to join me and spend some crafting time with me. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can go back and you can watch the video from Liz on how to create this beautiful little basket using the same die. So it's the same die I used. Okay, same concept. So you could even make a shaker on this if you wanted. It's endless. It's just, oh my gosh, it's endless. You guys are very welcome. I hope that you guys get lots of crafting done, and that hopefully we'll be able to get back to normal at some point. Before I go, I wanted to show you the new release from Heartfelt Creations. I just got it yesterday afternoon. So maybe we should have done this with the camera down, but it doesn't matter. So in this new collection, it's called Spring Garden. So this is the Spring Daffodil. So this is the stamp for the Spring Daffodil, and there's the die. Okay, so I've not yet made the daffodil, but they do have this on an arc, and there's little slits in here, so it's going to be easy for us to make into a cone, if you know what I mean. Then there's the hyacinth, which is very close to the lilac. Okay, so there's, I'll turn it this way as well. So there's the stamp. This is the stamp. This is the die. So pretty. Now in this collection, you get 2 shaping molds. So this one is for the hyacinth, and then this one's for the daffodil. So they have 2 molds in this collection. And then you also get the beautiful paper pack, lots of yellows. Okay, super pretty. And then I had ordered thinking that I was going to be able to do the release party, which we are not going to be able to do. I ordered in some of the single sheets of paper just to show you some of the graphics and the detail. It's just absolutely stunning. And they always have, like, their A side and their B sides are so beautiful. It's always hard to choose which one you want. Look at these beautiful hyacinths. Oh my goodness, they're just stunning. And then on the back side of this, you get all of your squares, your panels to make cards. All you have to do is add a few flowers and they're all on there. Like, you got a stunning card. I'm allergic to them as well. And when I go to Thunder Bay, Gary's mom has a whole bunch of them all around the side of her house. It just literally kills me. Oh my gosh, it's just terrible. So anyway, I hope that you guys have a fabulous weekend. Again, thank you for sharing some time with me. I'm hoping next week to get, you know, hopefully a demo in. Maybe we'll do the stamping with the cosmic glue, and you can see what that looks like. I'm just excited to be able to do things and excited for people to be able to come in the store. So what we're going to do now, this is not firm, not 100%. So we are supposed to be back in the red on Monday, which means I can have people in the store. Now, unfortunately, we have to keep the numbers really low. So I will only allow 2 people at a time in the store because I'm the 3rd person, okay? And I need to keep everybody safe. If you still want to book an appointment, I'll try my best to accommodate it, because if I have people in here, it's hard. I can't ask them to leave because you're here. So I don't know what to do. But next week, we're going to really focus on our curbside. We're really going to focus on shipping, and we're really going to focus on getting you guys back in here. But it has to be at lower numbers, okay? Barrie has the highest number in Ontario for the UK variant. Okay, so I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. I don't want my husband to get sick, and I don't want you to get sick. So let's just take baby steps. We're going to do what we're going to do, and we're going to make it work like we have for the last year. I'm going to continue with these. If this is what you guys want to see, you want these little demos and stuff, that's going to be great. I'm going to do it. One more thing, Karen Heathcote is going to be on, I'm hoping next week, but possibly the week after, to do her coloring demo. So this is going to take you from a beginner up towards an advanced. She is a certified Copic instructor. She is on the Crafters Companion design team. She's their senior design team member here in North America. And she is going to be using the tri-blend markers as well as possibly the regular Spectrum Noir markers. So as soon as I can nail down an exact date and time with her, I'll be posting it. I'll probably send it out in an email. She will be on our Facebook page. So you're going to be able to ask questions. You're going to be able to do all the things that she's right there. She's amazing. We love her. She has been so supportive of this store, and to do these for us is amazing. And she's just so talented. Like, just to pick her brain for a half an hour or an hour is going to change your coloring tips. Okay, so be well, be safe. I will announce all this stuff as we go. And yeah, have a good weekend. All right, take care, guys.